Welcome to Forever Sports, and Rassie Erasmus has just named his team to face Georgia this weekend. What about that call in the number 8 jersey? One visa gets a 4-match ban. Well, his brother will turn out in the number 8 jersey for what I can tell is the first time ever in his career, and it could be an absolute mastermind stroke from Rassie Erasmus. It's an uncapped front row for the Boks, and then very much a mixture of youth and experience throughout the rest of the side, and a very, very experienced bench. So despite the fact that it is against Georgia, Rassie Erasmus and his coaching staff definitely not taking any chances and are very much looking to build a bit of momentum, and I think probably try a few combinations as we start to sort of put together our final prep really ahead of the Rugby Championship. Before we get into it, please do smash a like on the video. Let me know what you think of the side and whether you think we've gone with the right sort of idea or not. Let's get stuck in, shall we? Right, front row, Bowen Venter, Marnus van der Merwe, Neethling Fouché, all on debut. I think we probably expected all three of them to be involved. Surprised that they're all together. Often we've sort of seen them, new players being blooded with more experience next to them, so it almost would have made more sense for like a Bowen Venter, Bongi Manambi, Neethling Fouché, for example, or having a Thomas du Toit starting. But not the case. So being sort of really thrown out to the wolves, really, against what's a pretty good Georgia pack. But at the end of the day, if you want to be in the front row, you want to be in that engine room for the Boks, you've got to show what you can do. And I think Marnus van der Merwe in particular is probably the one I'm the most excited to see on Saturday. He's a really talented player. I genuinely think he can push the likes of Bongi Manambi, Malcolm Marx, for places in the squad. So I think it's a very overdue debut. Then Ebenezer comes back into the side. He will partner Ruan Nokia. I think we all expected to see Kobus Wiese start. We probably all expect to see him start next to Ruan Nokia. Not the case. So Eben comes back in. Siya Kolisi is back, and he does start his first game of the year in the Boks. And Pierre du Toit will build up some more match fitness against Georgia. And then the big call. I mean, Kobus Wiese in the number 8 jersey. No one would have called that. Absolutely no one would have called that. And I'm very interested to see how it goes. I mean, he plays as a big bruising lock. We'll have to wait and see if he's got the mobility, I think, probably the big sort of question mark to be able to work in the number 8 jersey. And very interesting that he hasn't really played there before. He's played on the flank before, but not really often. I think he's played once in the past season on the flank, and that was due to a bit of an injury crisis that the Bulls kind of had. So it's a big call. Spare a thought for Evan Roos, who I think would have been eyeing out this big opportunity to start. No Jasper Wiese, Jean Augustus injured, Cameron Hanekom injured. You'd be sitting there thinking, I reckon I can get an opportunity here to really stake a claim. Well, instead, they rolled the dice and they're going to try Kobus Wiese. Grant Williams will get another start next to Sasha Famigoma-Zulu, comes into the side in the number 10 jersey. Kurtley Arendse returns. Edel van der Merwe keeps his jersey. And I think that we're going to see Kurtley Arendse, Edel van der Merwe, Ches and Colby be rotated quite a bit. I don't think there's actually a lot between them. Kurtley Arendse, Ches and Colby have got those jerseys nailed down. But I genuinely don't believe we lose quality when Edel van der Merwe plays. I think he could be as good as the other two. He just needs to get more opportunities, for example, and more game time. But I think that he is very much up there with the two of them. Then there's the new centre pairing. Damian de Allende next to Kenan Moody. No Andre Esterhuizen. That might be a bit of a surprise for a couple of people. I definitely thought we were going to see Andre Esterhuizen at the very least on the bench. Not the case. So Damian de Allende will run out next to Kenan Moody. Well, I believe is the first time, actually. I don't think Kenan Moody's ever played with Damian de Allende inside him. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of combination works. I played Fassi back into the starting lineup. That one was probably one of the more expected selections, when we sort of looked at how this might all play out. Then we look at the bench, and it's experienced. Very, very experienced. Bongi Manambi, Thomas du Toit, Vincent Koch. I mean, Thomas du Toit, the least experienced between those two players. But there's well over 200 caps. Or just about 200 caps, I think, between those three players. You then go on Arcus Neymar next to Kwagga Smith in a very orthodox 5-3 split. Or is it a 5-3 split? Well, it's a 5-3 split, but I mean, maybe we're going to see Damian de Allende go onto the flank. Maybe he's also working on that sort of hybrid player type of thing. And then we've got a 5 de Klerk, Andre Pollard, and Damian Willemse. So lots of experience there. Surprised in a way to see Andre Pollard get a run. I thought they would look to try and give Marnie Liebach a bit more time. Not surprised to see Damian Willemse at all. We really need to see what he can do. And not what he can do, but give him more opportunities back in the Bok jersey and get him playing back to his best, because when he's at his best, he's arguably the best fullback in world rugby. I truly, truly believe that. So if we look at some of the stats, for example, Eben Etzebeth will extend his record as the most capped Boks to 133 tests. Curtly Orense requires 5 points to score 100 tests for the Boks. Let's look at the total test cap, shall we? 484 in the starting lineup. It's not bad, not bad. Not a lot, not massive amount, because you've got newbies, obviously a brand new front row. Kobus Wiese is playing in only a second game. Ronald Kier's not played a lot of rugby. Adolf van der Merwe is playing in just his third game. There's 165 caps in the backline, 319 amongst the forwards. There's 437 on the bench. So that just sort of shows you how, when you look at the average caps in the backline, it's just 24. Amongst the forwards, it's 40. On the bench, it's 55. So if anything is going to go wrong, for example, if Georgia do maybe shock us a little bit, we're going to be able to cope with it quite easily, I think. And I think that, I think that we're going to be quite okay, in all honesty, because I think that we've got all the experience we could possibly want in the side that we've named. So, what do you think? I think for me, slightly disappointed with the bench. I think we could have seen a bit more of Evan Roos. I think it would have been a nice opportunity to give Asnat and Klapakanya another go. I think that we could have, I would like to see Moy Liebach given another go. Other players who I think will feel unlucky not to get another opportunity is, again, Andre Esterhuizen. I think he would have liked to have probably played a bit more. I think Vincent Tuka could have been an opportunity. I think I could have had him on the bench ahead of a Kwaka Smith, for example. No Lord Diago, no Franco Mostert, so they haven't now played in a while. But this is the big problem with having such a big squad, that we've got to try and find ways of getting everybody game time, whilst making sure that we're sort of testing combinations, winning games, and the like. So it's a very fine line, and it's a difficult one to really get right, I think. And I think that's kind of the problem that we're struggling with at the moment, is finding those opportunities consistently to give players chances. This team over here has got everything it needs to take on most test sides, bar the front row, I think. If you would throw in the replacement front row into the starting front row, this team would look very, very comfortable, I think, against an All Blacks in Australia. You'd probably change a Kane and Moody and Abel van der Merwe. After that, I don't think there's a lot you would necessarily change in the pack. Obviously, even at this stage, we've got an 8th man crisis, so maybe Kobus Wiese is genuinely one of our best options at number 8 at the moment. So some big calls, some interesting calls, I think interesting combinations, and I'm very keen to sort of see how it all goes. I just want to make sure I sort out something quickly with the press conference, and then I'll be with you guys in a second.